Alright, so now in the last lesson we added this energy blast. So now in this lesson we're going to look at parenting a lot of the um, features that are connected to the mecha, and we're going to parent those together, and, and then we're also going to try to duplicate those and add a reflection to this window. So like I said, the first thing we want to do is we want to parent everything to the mecha. And those are all the things like the lightning that's connected to it, this energy blast, um, the shadow, basically anything that moves along with the mecha, we're going to parent it. So it all is connected. That way, if we want to move it or change anything, it's all connected. And I'll show you that here once we connect everything. So what? So let's. So here's our mecha right here, mecha 1, and the parenting is not showing up down here. So in this bar right here where it has the source name, the mode, track mat, these features, I'm going to right click. There's columns, and we are looking for parent and link right here. And the parent link shows up right here. It was usually comes over on this end. I'm moving it over here to this end right now because I want it to see closer to where my files are. So the shadow I'll start with, and I'm going to change that to the mecha 1 because we're going to parent everything to the mecha 1. I want the mecha mat. I'm going to shift select these, the energy blast, the lightning, and the beam. And I'm going to change all of those to mecha 1. And so now I've got all of that connected. So let's check that. Let me click off of here. Now the trick to selecting it and moving it to see if it'll work is you need to check that or click on the mecha 1 because everything's connected to that. So let's select the mecha with our selection tool, and you can see it looks like it's working. You play a little bit and see there's the lightning, the effects, the shadow, it's all connected. Okay, so that worked. Let me hit Command Z because I don't want to really move it. So let me move it back into position. So now I have all those connected, so now I want to make a duplicate. So maybe before I do that, I'm going to make some composition. I'm going to put some of these into new compositions, so pre-compositions, to make a little bit less files showing up down here. There's a couple that I'm not going to use, the energy blast and the shadow, because they have black and white backgrounds, which makes it it doesn't work well in the pre-comps unless you have to like add things and change things around. So let's go ahead and we'll do the mecha and the mat, and maybe the lightning. I want to move it down here, and the beam. So we'll do those 4. I'm going to right click, and there's right down here there should be a pre-compose feature. I'm going to click that. I'm going to change the name of it. I'll call this mecha, and we also have the effects with it, so we'll call it mecha effects and mat. The mat's also in there. We'll hit OK. Make sure everything looks like it's looking okay so far. Okay, that looks okay. And like I said, the energy blasts don't work. So I think we'll go with that. So at least we've got a little bit down to less files. So now I want to duplicate these. Now I do want the energy blast to be included, though. I'm not going to include the shadow because I might be able to knock it out down here. It might not be too obvious. And I'm not going to use the explosions either, just to keep it somewhat simpler, so it doesn't get too complicated. So I'm going to select the mecha and the 2 energy blasts, and I'm going to do Here, I'll just go Edit, Duplicate. And you see that they all kind of come up differently. So before you click off of it or do anything, I'm going to select that bottom one, and I'm going to drag all three of those to the very top. So now I've got a new set. Now the issue with this now is that it looks like my links, my parent links went away, and the names are still the same. So I think I'm gonna hit a return on this. I'm gonna select right in here because I want to change the name. I think you can also right click, and down here there's also rename. You can do either or. And I'm just gonna call this reflection. Mecha. Okay, let me select all three of those again. And let me see if that works. And it looks like it does. Another way I think to do that, let me hit Command Z, is, you know what, I forgot what I was going to do now. No. Alright. I was going to say, if these are, oh yeah, if these are parented together, let's go ahead and do that. Let's parent these. I definitely want these parented because once we do the 3D effect, that'll help too. So let's, the energy blast, let me click off, click back, just so these two energy blasts are selected, and let me parent those to the number 3 reflection right there. Okay, now let me shift select the reflection also, and I just grabbed that, so that didn't work. So let me just grab the reflection mecha, and everything should go with it. Yes, it did, because now those are parented. And I'm going to move it down here. I'm just going to scrub through this a little bit to make sure lightning, yep, the lightning and the blasts are all showing up on it. Good. Okay. Okay, so now that we have that selected, we want it to have a 3D effect on all three of these. So let me shift select all three of those again. And you might need to toggle your switches in order to get the 3D to work. But make sure all three of these have a 3D effect. So I'm going to add one to the reflection mecha. It's right there. And I'm only going to use this one. So I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to transform, and you see that I have an XYZ. I also have an orientation. And that is the one I believe I'm going to use. Let me move this one over now, over here, so I can see this closer. So in my orientation, I guess I want this mecha to look a little bit more like it is at the same angle as this window. So let's play around with the orientation. And we'll try with the, I believe the middle one looks like it's the Y. So make it kind of look like it's on the side. So I'm going to tilt a little bit, maybe that way, I think. And I might need to move it a little bit. I'm grabbing the selection tool and moving it manually here with the position. I know this part's a little bit tricky. And it's not going the way I want it to. I'm going to try these rotations down here now. That's a little bit better. There we go. Sometimes it's kind of hard getting it to the right angle. that you want. I'm going to scale it up a little bit. That way I get these, make sure all that whole frame is in this window area. Move it up just, I need to move it down here because I don't want to see his feet because I won't have a shadow in there. Move him back a little bit over here. Let's scrub through there and see how he's looking. Oh, I can see that lightning gets cut off down here now. Might try to fix that with the scale because he looks like he's on. He looks like he's on there pretty good. That looks like a good angle. So let's go ahead and scale it up a little bit. Oops. Get a little stuck there. Alright, I think that fit. I think that works. Okay, now as you see though, the mecha is coming out of the window though. So we'll change that. We'll add a mask. So make sure your reflection mecha is selected. And let's go up here to our pen tool. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Maybe not quite that far. I can do maybe, let's try 33, maybe 50. Looks a little bit better. Because I want it to come off the edges here. So let me get my pen tool again. Reflection showing. Yeah, I'm going to start out here. Maybe I didn't have to start out that far. I don't like that point right there. It's in my way. And this is the road right here, I believe. So I know some people want to think this is just the window, but I believe this is part of the window down here. And I'm hitting my option. The PC might be different. So you might have to find like an option key, control key, I believe it is, for the PC. And then I'm going to click over here, and then I have to click back to this double boxed right here to close it out. And you can also see on the pen tool there's a little 0 that signifies that it's going to close. And it will not work if you don't close it. Now you'll see that the pen tool changes to a selection tool automatically when it gets close to those handles. You can adjust the handles better to exactly where you want it. Let's see if it's working. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Now it's fitting on the window. Now the next thing, and amazingly, the lightning and the energy blasts, are also connected. So it looks like the energy blast is coming out of there just a hair. So we could either move it back or give the energy blast a mask also. I don't know if it'll let me do them both at the same time. Let me see. Nope. Have to do it separate. So which one of those is coming out? Probably the second one. No, it doesn't look too bad. I might skip it for this lesson though, just so I don't go too long. I'm going to delete that shape layer. The next thing I want to do though is show you to make it transparent, because it doesn't look quite like a reflection. We could also try some blending modes, or you could do the opacity. I think I'll do the opacity. I'm going to select all three of those, and let's hit the T, and that'll show me my opacity. And now that I have all three of them, they all open up at the same time, and it's also very nice that once I selected on one of them, they all go together. Maybe it's because they're all parented. So I'm knocking it down to 66. And I think the mecha looks pretty good there. Those beams still look pretty bright. I almost want to knock those down a little bit, so let me just select the beams. Knock those down a little bit more. See how that looks. Yeah, I think that works for me. So there you have parenting and how you do the reflection. And that's the end of this lesson.